Good morning, Sir Dexter Lante.
Galing.
Pasensya ka, grabe gid ka pasensya, medyo gyud nagka-difficulties ang amuhang service karon, pasensya gid kayo. So, good day. I am Resdeline Cañete Salde from BSC Science. BSc Science 3, and thank you for joining us today. So, this interview is part of our discussion about innovative leadership, which means leading with creativity, adaptability, and a forward-thinking mindset. It's about finding new solution, improving system, and encouraging others to think beyond the usual. So today, we will be interviewing our one of participants who I believe demonstrate the qualities of an innovative leader through their ideas, action, and influence. Sir, we are honored to have you here to share your insights and experience. So once again, sir, good morning.
Good morning.
Um, Thank you kay sa imong pagpaunla karon sa amo, sir. So, pwede na ba ta makasugod? Pwede na ba ta makasugod sa atong interview karon, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Can you briefly introduce yourself and your role as a student leader?
Okay, good morning once again. So, I am Dexter Ilonte from BS Ed Science 2, and I am currently serving as the auditor of the Guild of Science Educator na organization. And recently, I am elected as the vice president for this organization for the upcoming academic year. Oh, that's all.
Thank you so much. Then, how do you define innovative leadership?
Okay, so innovative leadership for me is it is something to do with being open to change and kanabang not being afraid of trying new ways, because as we know that in this world the only constant thing is change, and yeah, we need to adapt and dili ta mahadlok og try of other new things or new ways.
What does it mean to you to lead with innovation in mind?
It is something to do with katong you mentioned ganina no sa introduction, being creative, adaptive na dayon. As I have mentioned po, dili lang, we should not be afraid in learning or adapting to new things and new ways. Not afraid. Dili na to dili na tama adlok nga mo step out sa what is being nakasanayan or what has been ano bang we think outside the box. We will not be kind of overwhelmed by the challenges along the way. That's all.
Thank you for sharing your insight. And
Yeah.
how do you approach leadership differently from more traditional methods?
To be honest, I am more lean toward traditional methods no kay kana bitang sa ako lang sa ako lang I am sometimes holding back sa ako ang kaugalingon. And questions. But we need to stick to what's safe, what is proven, and what is tested nga taod-taod na. But now I am stepping into the vice president role in the next year, I am hoping to shift that, and I want to start nga encourage more collaboration, especially sa akong kaugalingon that I will collaborate with the members sa organization.
Thank you and congratulations in advance. So here is the follow-up question in number 3. Can you provide an example where you took a different or unique approach in solving a problem as a leader?
Okay. So, as a leader, so ito example for unique approach in solving koan. So, to siya, think outside the box. Like, think something it's not kanabitang something new, start something new, something small, ana nga, kanabitang, dili lang, kanabitang, nag-stick lang ka to what is safe and proven. Like, being creative, something like that.
How do you encourage innovation within your team or organizations, and what strategies do you use to foster creativity and new ideas among your peers?
Okay, so to be honest, this is something I really wanted to work on. Okay, so far I haven't led many or any innovative efforts sa ako ang leadership because I'm new to this kanang inanibitang environment. But I hope to create a kanabitang atmosphere or culture where every ideas or all ideas are welcome, and members sa organization or sa group is feel safe to share even if their ideas are unconventional or conventional. Basta kay they have place bitang to share their ideas and thoughts kay it's better mo good if there is something like problem or need to be resolved or to solve. Much better if all the members sa organizations or sa group are makashare sa ilang ideas on how to solve a certain problem po.
So, sir, as my follow-up question, no, kanang lisod ba, sir, no? Difficult ba, sir, nga mahimo bang usa ka student leader sa mo nga dako nga atong school napagid sa field of education, lisod ba mahimo nga student leadership?
Yeah, to be honest, it's actually difficult kay being a student, especially kinato sa education and then ato school is medyo dako-dako na no. So, kung na gid siya, murag bigger challenge na gid siya para sa ako kay napatay i-juggle na to ang mga responsibilities sa atong family, sa atong academic nga journey, and then napadayon ang leadership. So, makayon gid ko nga it's difficult.
Okay kayo sir no, tanan magita as a students po dili lang gid kayo magunaw na ta sir no sa student leadership nagkalisod jud ta na struggles gid siya. So next question.
Mayong buntag, Sir Dexter. I'm 16, so I'll be the one to continue the questions. So wala na mo na mention, sir, pero 15 na kabuk among questions. So anyways, are you ready, sir, to continue?
Yes.
Okay, so the first question is, can you share an example where your leadership led to an innovation outcome, or what challenges did you face and how did you overcome them?
So as I have mentioned earlier, no, I haven't led a major innovation yet. Kay kuan pa gyud like something new pag kuan nga field, no. So but I've seen others do it. Nakita ko mga leaders and it somehow inspires me. And I've been kind of bitang witness yun sa ilang mga how they approach innovatively, creatively, and makaingon ko nga it's a good thing yun and naka-inspire dito siya sa ako. So I hope that in my next role I can initiate something out of my own. Po.
Okay, thank you, sir. Next question. How do you balance innovation with the practical needs of your organization or project? Or like, do you ever feel a tension between maintaining tradition and pushing for new ideas?
Yeah. So, upo di isa sa one of the reason nga siguro dili lang sa ako and maybe sa other leaders. Kana bitang we are cautious kay to maintain the balance between innovation and the traditional approach sa leadership. And sa mo good kay we're focused on making sure things nga sa atong organization one is organized and achievable. But again, naamang gyud changes sa ato ang sa na changes gyud sa panahon. So we are try to find that balance by starting small and testing new ideas and learning from both the successes and setbacks.
Thank you sa answer, sir. Grabe kitchen insights, good. Hopefully, successful good ka next year. Anyways, next question. What role does collaboration play in your leadership? Or like, can you give an example of how you've used teamwork to drive innovation?
Okay. So being a leader, good. We need to understand the value of teamwork and we have to make sure nga ang everyone feels involved. Kay collaboration is something magud nga kung ikaw part of the member, part of the organization, member ka sa organization, and if you are being part sa planning, sa pag-solve of problem, di ba may makang comfortable anang magpabilin anang organization. And I think it will be my starting point as I explore innovative leadership and through team discussion and brainstorming tapos sa mga previous mong sa program sa katong previous nga program sa Guild of Science Educators kanang grabe gid nga collaboration between sa mga mind sa leaders ba nga kung saan may mo successful ang isa ka event. So mo siya.
Thank you, sir. Last question before ta mag-proceed sa sunod na mag-question. In what ways do you seek out and integrate diverse perspective to innovate? How do you ensure all voices are heard when working on innovative projects?
Okay, so kini nga area no kay need pa gid po siya i-improve sa ako I still need to improve and I want to be more bitang intentional about listening sa quieter voices kay di man gid makalimot nga sa isa ka organization na ay ito matawag nga leaders ang all anang organization, but then there are certain people yun so members nga medyo dili kayo ka participate like may ta quieter voice and those who might not always speak up. And I'm one of the example for this kining quieter voices kay dili kayo ko ga open mo good sa for example sa meeting I just wanted to listen and all and but I believe that the most creative solutions come from diverse thinking, no? And I really wanted to learn how to bring those out. Even as samot na po sa akong kagalingon yun.
Morning, sir. So for the next question, since na-mention mo ganina nga kanang bago pa kani nga field, what has been the biggest challenge you faced in trying to implement innovative ideas? How did you navigate obstacles like resistance to change or limited resources?
So siguro no, one of the biggest challenge sa kining innovative leadership is kanang kuan starting sa akong pagsugod. So fear of failure and resistance to change kay lagi we tend to lean on what is something has been proven and kanabit ang feel nato nga safe lang ta, then di mo gud ta gusto nga pag kuan kanang gusto gid nato nga organized ra gyud ang ato ang like the organization. So but slowly kinahanglan gid siya no nga i-learn nga mag-try gid ta og new things. That doesn't mean nga letting go of what works, but it rather just means making space for improvement po.
In what way do you measure the success of innovative ideas or initiatives you've led? Do you use specific metrics or feedback from your team?
I think we understand this, especially we are the education students. Isa gid sa pinaka-importante and how to measure aside from assessment something. The conjugate is na-mention ka ganina is feedback. No, measure success through feedback or how people respond, what they learned, or whether they felt more engaged ba sa, for example, sa events, sa meetings, may nana. And I'm also learning to celebrate small wins, nana, especially when trying something for the first time.
Amazing kayo sir no, nga sada gid kayo no nga kanang maski sa kagamay ang atong achievements nga nakuha, sada gid nga magatagpod ta og kanang self appreciation sa atong self masisa sa kagamay nga atong nakuha nakamit sa atong life. So next question sir kanang how has your approach to leadership evolved during your time as a student leadership? Kanang were there any key moment that shaped your view on innovative leadership?
So, yung pa na ganina, I tend to lean on the traditional nga approach sa leadership. Like, about responsibility lang yun and structure sa pag being a leader. But now as I get myself involved into this kaning institution, okay, muna magiging ang pinaka-peak sa ako ang as a student leader kay though nag-leader, I'm a student leader po since elementary. Those were just pa kayo ka na bitang foundation pa lang na sa leadership. But today is I realize nga this can also be about inspiration and vision, and na-realize po na ko nga being open to growth is part din siya of becoming an effective leader. Kanang mo-embrace din ka sa changes ba, mo-adapt ka sa changes kay isod kayo nga ga-change na ang system ang panahon, but ikaw kay you more tend to lean pag sa very traditional way of kanang approach sa leadership.
Okay kay sir no, sakto gid kayo sir no nga kanang walga nam tawag kanang makatagamtag tawag innovative sang atong self no, makatagamtag po tawag kanang self growth. Mo ba na pasabot sir self growth?
Yes po.
So thank you guys sir no. So here's the next question. Who or what has inspired your style of leadership? Are there any leader either past or present nga naka-influence sa imong thinking?
So I've been inspired by student leaders nga nabitang ga take bold steps and think outside the box, but most likely isa gid sa kuan sa ako naka-influence is it is outside sa school because I'm also a leader man gud sa church organization, and then nako ginalook up ka leader ba nga among pastor, grabe gid siya ka magdala sa kuan sa mga especially sa youth, sa mga organizations, and then because sa una man gud I tend to say nga never gid ko mahimong leader, never gid ko mag-lead og mga tao, never gid ko mag-involve og sa akong self sa mga organization, mag-take of positions because nakadlock lagi ko. But as I look into them, as I kanabitang grabe nga ako ang pag-uban-uban sa ilaha, watching their courage and creativity, it makes me want to step up pod nga. Gusto pod ko nga nasa ilang position, and I also learn from katulad mga mentors and pastors nga encourage sa ako and encourage reflection and continuous improvement yun po.
So ang ako it means nga may pasabot sir nga dili lang gid nga sa school gid ka nga na-enhance nga mudagan as a student leadership kundi na gid ang kanyang influence ang nakatagala sa ato nga makapa-enhance gid sa ato nga makadagan sa atong self nga ay kini part gid nako nga mag-part ko as a student leadership.
Oo.
So for the next question for my colleagues please.
Good morning, sir.
Morning sir, morning.
Yeah, so my first question to you, sir, is how do you see the role of innovation in leadership evolving in the future?
Okay, so innovation is very essential siya sa leadership, especially pag-evolve sa in the future. Science student, I understand yun nga kung sagid ka dako ang role sa pag-innovate, and as challenges become more complex, mga good leaders will need to be adaptable and creative yun, and I want to be part of that change, and even if I'm just kind of starting to explore ani nga field.
What do you think student leaders will need to focus on in the coming years to remain effective?
Kuan. This is being kuan po sa ako, gi-instill po siya sa ako. Start small and don't be afraid to learn as you go. Okay. Of course, there are setbacks yun. Dili siya always nga. Along the way, as we go forward sa atong journey or as a leader, dili lang siya nga puro successes. So, there are, lagi na siya sa setbacks, and di po siya kinahanglan, or you don't have to be expert right away. Pag start pala nimo, maayo na din kayo ka. Just be open ka na bitang trying to listen and listening and growing. So, ana lang.
Alright, so what advice would you give to emerging student leaders about embracing innovation, and what skills or mindsets are essential to lead innovatively?
So, muna to siya kanang, inato lang, ito sa mga isa, for the emerging student leaders, muna to siya, start small. And ayo ka, dili mahadlok o try og new things, then mag-learn lang yun as we go forward kay. Be resilient, kanang adaptable, creative, para dili man kinahanglan yun niya, expert yun ta, diretsyo. So, start lang sa mga gagmay nga butang. Yan.
Yeah, alright. Thank you for that, sir. So this will be our last question. And is there anything else you'd like to add about innovative leadership or your experiences as a student leader? Are there any insights you think are important that we haven't covered yet?
Okay, so I may not have a long list of innovative projects or mga initiatives, kaya as I have mentioned, wala pa ko kalid og many innovative sa leadership, but yet I have dived to grow. So yung kaganina nga, important yun po ang self growth sa ato. So in becoming next VP for the organization sa Science Educator, for example, it gives me opportunity to explore leadership in a new way, and excited po ko nga mahimo ko excited ko nga pag nakahadlo ko sa but I'm ready to take the step forward. Wala to.
Alright. Thank you, kayo, sir. Really appreciate your insights here and everything that you've contributed to this interview.
Thank you so much po sa opportunity.
Thank you kayo, sir.
Hello, good evening, sir. Sir John po. So, pwede kami maka-ask of mga questions about innovative leadership.
Yes po.
So Sir Paul, no? So, can you briefly introduce yourself and your role as a student leader?
So good evening everyone. No, I am John Paul Bacungis. A fourth year nursing student here at Bukidnon State University. Then currently I am a senator of the Supreme Student Council, and also I am the class representative of our section, the president of our church in youth, and an SK, barangay SK Kagawad po.
So, another question, Sir Paul. Also, Sir Paul is very active, no? So, Sir Paul is daghan gyud siya background about leadership. And then, so following question, Sir Paul, is how do you define innovative leadership?
So, innovative leadership means nang you are ready or open to any ideas when it comes to lead an organization.
So, thank you, Sir Paul. Then, so how do you approach leadership differently from more traditional methods?
So how do I approach leadership differently from more traditional methods? So, for me, as kanang diba daghan kay ko ginahandle, or I have a different organizations na ginhandle. So, I handle or I approach this kind of leadership kung kanang bitong more appropriate when it comes sa kanang timely ba siya, or kanang suit ba siya sa age or sa groups within that certain kanang organization.
So thank you, Sir Paul. No? And then another question is, how do you encourage innovation within your team or organization?
So how do I encourage innovation within our team or organization? So one of the most kanang gina-face bitong problems sa organization or sa mga organization is the budget. So we need to think and alternative nga bisan wala may budget or bisan walay mga resources nga mga katong sakto gid nga resources bitaw nga among need para ma-achieve ang among activity or nga among i-conduct, is we need to find a way or innovate something nga find something or something nga kanang bitong alternative nga may use para bitaw nga ma-successful gyapon ang event even though nga kulang ang resources or ang budget.
So, being a leader, so dapat ano naman, resourceful, dapat na-agad kay most resourceful. So, ingana gyud daw ang mga leaders, so they find ways para makapangitaan nga mahita ko yun ang activity nga ilang gusto i-achieve. So, another question, Sir Paul, is can you share an example where your leadership led to an innovative outcome?
So, one of the example is katong sa among simbahan sa among church. So, as a president sa among youth, sa ang youth organism sa among church is nagsuggest ang mga youth nga mag-conduct daw ng activity. So last December pa gito nga maghangyo sila nga magpa-party daw kuno. So youth biya, so magsalig na pud og budget sa mga mama, mga ina pud og kwarta. So kulang gyapon as a leader, so kulang gid yung budget, kulang gid yung kwarta mag-conduct ana. So we find a way nga makakandak gyapon ng activity nga dili kayo mag-use up ito o budget. So nagpa-games lang ni, then we nagduol mi sa nag-solicite mi sa mga parents sa mga balay-balay nga part sa among church para bitaw nga maghatag sila og kung unsa lang ang available or unsa ilang ihatag para nga nay makaon or mahatag during sa mga activity or sa mga party.
So, parang murag every December ba, Sir Paul, no, kanang mag-ask si teacher nga, na class kinsa pag-donate og spaghetti, kinsa pag-donate og lumpia, murag ing ana inyong gibuhat, Sir Paul ba?
Yes.
So si Sir Paul is very creative when it comes to leadership. So no, na makita ko siya way how to provide para ma-enjoy sa iyang members ang iyang mga plan nga gusto mahitabo, like for example activity. So number 6, another question, Sir Paul, no, so how do you balance innovation with the practical needs of your organizations or project?
So, in this question, so how do I balance innovation and the practical needs of our organizations or in a project? So when we do a project, so para sa SSC, so Supreme Student Council nga karon is dili gid siya permanente bitaw nga maybe being an innovative is kang always a backup plan gid siya. Nang magsunod gid siya kay magsunod gid ang samot na karon is ang SSC, magsunod gid siya sa kung unsa ang mando sa admin or ang unsa gid ang gusto nga mahitabo sa admin. So to balance, di gid siya pwede nga masunod ang imong pagbuo, imong choices or imong gusto nga mahitabo. So we need lang gid nga anang i-prepare imong plan B, which is being an innovative one, para nga at the end of the day or at pag-abot sa activity is kung naami mga problems nga kahitabo, at least na naka-backup dito, so nga madali man gyapon yung activity.
Okay, Sir Paul, so what I have observed, no, tong nag-struggle gid mo mga SSC tong during intramural. So nakita gid nako no, innovative kay since na-prepare naman ang Mr. and Miss Intramurals, so inyo na naging siya giuna, then gi-follow up na ninyo ang mga sports and socio-cultural. So thank you, Sir Paul, no, kay na-enjoy kinapon namo ang intramurals with your time adjustment. So another question, Sir Paul, is what role does collaboration play in your leadership?
So collaboration is one of the most important part when you are handling or when you are in an organization, no? So dili gid siya tarong maka-function ng isa ka group or an organization kung dili magkayo-usab, dili mag-collaborate ang tanan kay murag gyapon siya useless or mahitabo man siya pero luoy kayo ang isa nga siya ang magbago sa tanan. So we need to collaborate. So pares gyud siya guys sa sa isa ka silhig or sa isa ka tukod nga dili siya maka-clean or dili niya madala tong basura or kuan kung dili siya daghan. So pares gyud siya sa collaboration, no? To make things more easy.
So what's up the saying says no, two is better than one. So di ka nang, so as we combine our forces, so mas daghan kita mahimo, no, kay another saying is no man is an island. So dapat magtinabangan gyud ta. So that's the root of leadership and your members. So magtinabangan gyud to mabuhat ang isa ka activity.
Okay, good evening, Sir John Paul. My name is Sistina Vincilaran, again from BSN Side 3, and I'll be the one who continue the questions. Okay, so Sir John Paul, in what ways do you seek out and integrate diverse perspective to innovate?
So good evening, ma'am. So in what ways do we seek out and integrate diverse perspective and innovative? So before or prior pa lang sa mag-start ang year, especially sa SSC, is we conduct strategic planning. So we plan kung unsa may tabang the entire semester and the next semester, no? So diyan na din magsugod ang brainstorming every member kay I believe nga every member has different talents and kanang different talents o unique na. So diyan na din manggawas ang mga tsada nga ideas nila nga pwede mga ideas nga itapok din pwede din siya pilian bitaw kay dili man gud sa tanang time nga imo harag yung choices or imo harag yung pagbuot ang mahitabo kung magkanda ko activity.
I see. So dili lang gid na isa ang mag-decide whenever magplan sila unsa gyud mahitabo ana nga semester. Then sila di ang behind ana sa atong mga events. So thank you kayo na Sir John Paul. Next question. What has been the biggest challenge you faced and when trying to implement innovative ideas?
Maybe ma'am katong last is nagi times nga dili gyud siya nagi uban groups or uban members sa inyong organization is dili gid mag-agree within ani kay daghan is ever na maligsan, for example ilahang ay no kanang maligsan ang ilahang belief or ilahang ideas or ina na, so murag need pagid ka o murag mabuta siya nga challenge nga need pa nimo sila i-persuade nga mag-agree nga mabuhat na siya nga activity. So far mo ito siyang murag na face na ko nga challenge as being an innovative leader.
Thank you, Sir John Paul. Next question. How do you measure the success of innovative ideas or initiative you've led?
So, how do we measure the success of innovative ideas or initiatives we've led? So far, ma'am, is from the start pa lang din sa mga activity up and start pa lang ng first semester up until now is nagid may evaluation form after the activity had happened, no? So, after din ana sa activity nga nakandak na dayon is i-distribute na dito sa every student or ipang-send na din ang link para man sila sa mga student if kanang level sila satisfaction, comments, or suggestions kung unsa lang mga nabantayan during the activity na. So mag-meeting like nga mo na siyang itapok tanan ilang comments and ideas or ilang ratings sa mga activities. So dito na din mo na mabasahan if unsa ilang comment kung giganahan ba sila sa activity nga mong gibuhat or dili. So tsada pud kay siya kay i-reflect na din sa mga nag-lead or kung saan nagbuhat ato kung sila nagkulang or mas giganahan ang mga students.
Thank you, Sir John Paul. Next question. How has your approach to leadership evolved during your time as a student leader? Or were any key moments that shaped your view on innovative leadership?
So for me kay I thought it from the start is being a leader is kanang murag sayon ra bitaw kayo then for the fame or what, but later on kay ma-realize na dito nga being a leader nga mag-handle bitaw sa dakwan nga group is maka-pressure o kapoy kay kanang magkandak mo ang activity knowing nga kanang behind the scene na kayo matanan like from all the papers, from all the preparation, then kanang bitong ang ako ang self is nagkuan siya nga nag-evolve pud akong thinking as a leader nga not all the time nga kanang imong bitong ipa-show sa people nga kapoy kay ka or hago or ikaw ginaghandle ani, as long as makita lang nimo nga ang successful ang event is more satisfying na kayo.
Who or what has inspired your style of leadership? Are there any leaders, either past or present, who have influenced your thinking?
Wala kay kita akong ginalook up or ginasunod kung the way he handle a group or kanang kung unsa siya nga leader. Like ay ginasunod na ginako kung unsa ang mas maayo ani nga butang or kung unsa ako nang I played in my own way.
Paglingon na gito.
Yes.
How do you see the role of innovation in leadership evolving in the future? Or what do you think students leaders will need to focus on in the coming years to remain effective?
No, so the world is constantly evolving. Ay, di siya nga constantly evolving. Like, constantly ba na nga sa yes. It's constantly evolving. Wala ra taga stay in this one generation or kanang basta we are evolving into more technological, more on techy na gid kay karon nga, no? So we need to be innovative in a way nga kanang bitong kabalutan mo adapt or kabalutan mo think again of another way na ma-catch ang attention samot na nga galahi na pud ang generation nang the way we handle na pud sa mga members na mas mo participate sa activity.
What advice would you give to emerging student leaders about embracing innovation? Or what skills or mindsets are essential to lead innovatively?
What would be the advice I will going to give to the emerging student leaders about the embracing innovation? So, dapat kay open gid sila sa mga new ideas and opportunities. Dili lang gid bitaw nga mag-stick lang gid sila kung unsa ilang naandan kay the more open sila sa mga new ideas, the more nga daghan nga learnings ang ilahang mag-gain pod. Like, give and take bitaw.
Okay, Sir John Paul, last question. Is there anything else you'd like to add about innovative leadership or your experience as a student leader? Are there any insights you think are important that we haven't covered yet
So
as
far,
an
ma'am,
innovative leader?
So far, ma'am, as being an innovative leader, dapat kay may mo po ka nga innovative member. Yes, kay we need kana bitaw mo kung i-put ang imong self na mahimo kang member o mahimo po kang leader kay dili sa tanang time is dapat ikaw ang masunod. Dapat kay kabalo po ka mo put sa level nila para masabtan nimo imong member and para pud nga maka-decide ka og tarong as a leader.
Thank you, Sir John Paul, for your very insightful response or answers of all our questions. Thank you guys at time and everything else.